This is Kal Kat, the Calcaster, and this is just a real brief announcement. FanimeCon tomorrow. Kal Kat, the Calcaster. FanimeCon as tomorrow. Yeah, and well, you'll see this as it's being downloaded each night during the thing. So that's it. Mark's Cards will not be attending. We are not doing GalaxyCon this year. At Fanime, I will be at Fanime. We'll see whether the panel got canceled or not. I don't think so. We'll see. Okay, this here's Clint Cowpoke. And welcome to my discussion. Kal Kat later on a commentary and all that. FanimeCon 2025. 2025, the sequel with more information. We're gonna do the whole weekend. This is just Friday. So Friday stuff's got all that in there. Con swag is gonna be first here. Con swag. I always get a con shirt because I would do that. And I decided to get it first thing instead when everything opened at 3. So here we have the shirt. Ooh, the con shirt. There's one other shirt that had to go to the bank to get out because it was cash only at that place for some reason. Because the cash thing didn't work for some reason. And I got this one here. I'm not procrastinating. Side quests. Yes. So that was the 2 con swag things. The 3rd con swag thing was from they brought back that chocolate the chocolate moonshine chocolate or whatever the hell it was. Vaguely moonshine flavored chocolate and rum flavored chocolate, kind of. They're not that good. They're just okay. Yeah. So this is kind of a recap of con swag. Whether yeah. So everything's probably going to be out of sequence. There was an Uber ride there, an Uber ride back. With the Uber ride back, they picked up the guy picked up 2 different people in 2 different parts of San Jose on the way home. All the way over to the east side, and then back over the other way to Milpitas, there was the other driver, that doesn't matter, but the other passengers was a Mexican guy, and then later on it was an Indian girl, probably a high schooler or something. Anyway, it don't matter. The driver was Indian. The driver in the morning was Indian too. So there wasn't really anything exceptionally funny to report on in this behind the scenes commentary, but there was somebody commenting on Coxzilla, but not the Coxzilla, the porn star, but rather these 2 ladies had seen a man with an enormous patch of junk, like commenting on his junk, which was funny. So it wasn't a porn star; it was a guy with his costume was bulging like. And then there was another guy had a sword, kind of like that guy. And also he was packing heat, so I'm thinking that'd be the same guy. Yeah, as you know, on Friday they start the events officially around 1:30 or 2, and then open the dealer's room at 3. So it was like they dragged everything on until midday. Friday there wasn't as much visuals. There's a lot of we're gonna go through that when we see the other stuff. But yeah, so this is a recap. This is what happened Friday. I wanted to keep it down to just because there's a lot of video of just walking around. So I'll talk about it on there, and yeah, and the other things around that on the slideshow part. And there's not a lot of shots of Cowpoke directly facing the camera doing the stroll, because we always have to redub that anyway. So there's no point in putting that in there. We're just gonna cut dub over it. I'm gonna use it. Just dub over the other stuff too. Yeah, so to avoid copyright, because there's lots of songs and things in there. Anyway, so that's a recap, real brief thing on Friday on the behind the scenes, which I'll just add to the slideshow and then go from there. This is Kal Kat, the Kal Kat, Silly Kelly. I was a Lower Decks character, but after 20 years, because the show took place in 1983. It's 24, I think, roughly. Yeah, so yeah, FanimeCon, this is a sort of a recap of Saturday. So this is Saturday. I will also do on the slideshow part as well. But here we have the Saturday, just thoughts. And it's not going to go on for hours and hours, because Silly Kelly version is a little more kinetic and frantic version of it. Didn't need to have a lot of position. Some weird things happened though. There was a night guy. He refused a picture. That was a lot. The sweet shop was closed, even though it said it was open. I went to the Bijou Bakery. They stopped using the. This is in the morning. It's kind of disjointed. This is in the morning when that happened, and the tables weren't set out, but they stopped doing the ticket taking altogether. You just walk in and just do stuff, which would be pandemonium if there were more people there, but they didn't have the seating tables. And then later on, I went to the Signature. I was dropped off in the Uber at the Signature, and then I went Signa. Then I went up and I checked out the Signa to see if there were any hotel, to see if there was anything going on. And then after that was the other thing. Then I saw the crazy guy, I think after lunch. So it was later. The crazy guy was after lunch. Lunch was at the Jack in the Box near San Jose State. There used to be a McDonald's and a Jack in the Box next to each other, and near La Vix. La Vix is still there, by the way. Cowpoke, it's still there. Walked by it. But yeah, so La Victoria's is still there. The other places were still there as well. In the early afternoon, I think it was, there was a crazy black guy, black, evangelizing, but nowhere near the con. He was actually near the Hilton Signature, which used to be the Fairmont, I think, but the Hilton bought it out. It was the Fairmont, and he was yelling at the con people. He was yelling at them, and he was yelling that they were defiling Jesus or something. Just defying Jesus, yes. The irony is, it's hilarious. He doesn't know this, but the irony is that I am wearing a Campus Crusade shirt underneath this. An old 90s era Campus Crusade shirt from San Jose State. But yes, that I probably have only worn twice. I decided to ironically wear it under the Star Trek outfit. But I didn't tell him that. What I said was Jesus was a boss pimp. Kept walking. Then there were panels. There were con panels. There was what was the first one? The first one was was the first one the manga one? The one where you guessed the manga quiz. Anime quiz, according to the anime person that put up the quiz. The contestants were already pre-screened ahead of time. They were in the audience, and so it wasn't like it was kind of. I mean, if they knew their thing, then it wasn't a setup, right? And he threw in a couple of kids shows, which he knew they wouldn't know. But there were 2 rounds, about with 10 videos each, 10 opening sequences each, and I guessed all but 70% of them. So that's not, I couldn't guess out of the 20 of them altogether. I couldn't guess about 4, so something like that, or 5 of them I couldn't guess. And there was a Go Robo, which was funny, which is GoBots in America. They did a GoBots spinoff apparently. He tricked the audience by showing them the GoBots spinoff from the 90s. I didn't even know there was one. So there you go. Also, the audience caught on the second round and realized, oh, they're going to mention the name of the episode in the show, in the trailer. It's going to be mentioned in a kanji in English. All you got to do is listen for it, and it'll be there. There it was. There it was. If they're giving you the title, it's right there. Just got to guess the year. There it is. There it is. Yeah, they literally said Machine Robo in the title. It's like, oh, there it is. Anyway, so, and if it's a name, Kiki the cat, the talking cat, Kiki's Journal, the talking cat. Yeah, I don't know. That was one of the kid ones I didn't guess. I'm surprised that some of them didn't know that one. But the other panel was, there was a panel in the middle. It was what was it? It was probably because it wasn't about anybody. It was about anime character I knew nothing about. I did have the opportunity though at the end of the panel for the Robotech panel, because he did a Q&A and then he decided not to, and so I walked up to the panel guy at the end and he said, oh, he knew of me from several panels that I'd been to. So did the other people in the other improv thing. It was the Mario and Waluigi guys. They were in the audience too. It was the other guys. They were all familiars from the cast, so they were there, and they were this guy I mentioned to him. I might have mentioned it before because he kind of had lightning bulb go out there. I mentioned it before that I had met Carl Makak because he mentioned Fist of the North Star. Played in Fist of the North Star. It was relevant because Carl Makak tried to dub it into English, and I said, and he gave me a copy of Carl Makak sold me a copy of Fist of the North Star, the '80s version, and he said as he sold it to me, well, you can throw darts at it if you want to. So he didn't have any faith in it. That was any good. And I said, yeah. And later on, it wasn't. That's funny. That was Carl Makak, the late Carl Makak of Robotech, and the late Ahmed Argrama of Robotech. And now that they're gone, the rights are back in the hands of, I guess, Sony and New Way and Big West and Studio Nuo, and they can do more of them. They didn't mention that at the panel, but they can. They can do more of them. A lot of these things go up online, these animes, but they're immediately taken down because either they don't sell or they weren't supposed to be up, I guess. Like, your American distributor isn't a distributor. If they keep taking it down immediately and selling it, it's a bootleg. It's not legit or sketchy. They take it down immediately. They're not selling any more copies. Then you wonder, the copies available at all? Even his AI was telling him, the guy at the con, about that. That's what he was saying. Yeah. But yeah, there's something odd about trying to order the animes and I didn't want to win the contest because I would have won one of these animes that I don't have a Blu-ray player to play them. So I didn't want to win. Yes. Yesterday I thought I saw somebody from the Job Club. Turns out it wasn't him, somebody else, but he was in that panel with the anime people. And he turned around and took his picture and he goes like, "You're the guy from Job." I was all, "Yep, I'll take a picture. That's me." He didn't ask if I had a job at doing it. It was him. Anyway, so yeah. No, he didn't ask about that. Nor did I ask him about that. Not as much. So yeah. There probably aren't as many pictures. There's a few more walkthroughs than the Cowpoke one. There's many pictures. It's more frantic. It's more kinetic. Yeah, so there were more people there, though. See, now that there were more people, now that like yesterday it was probably a couple thousand, and now it was upwards of 8,000 walking around, 9,000. There was a lot of people walking back and forth. It was huge. There was everywhere, going back and forth, and there's lines everywhere. Yeah, it was impossible to film at times in the crowd because you just couldn't move. So, but that's fine. They're enjoying their Fanime thing. Yeah. Except for that one guy, that weird homeless guy. Yeah, I don't think he was with any church. I think he was just like crazy out on the street, like, yelling at costume people. And actually going in disguise is biblical. It's in the book of Acts and in the book of Mark and John. If he knew his Bible. Some of them went in costume to hide from the Mormons. It's costuming. That's what they were doing. Yeah, so it's biblical. Anyways, so yeah, it's not that kind, but yeah, what was that? What was that middle panel? It was incredibly forgettable. That was the middle panel, but the final panel was a sort of wrestling competition with slightly obtuse, dirty language. It was a 16 plus. Unfortunately, because they put it online, they had to tone it down, so the dirty language was not really dirty language. Oh, it's kind of funny. Yeah, they're all like, and that one was kind of funny, but they kind of needed to work the sketch better and formulate who was going to appear for what. I know that I realized they were spoofing WWE and doing a good job of that, but yeah, you kind of have to script it a little bit and have okay, this other guy's going to come out, but don't just write down the other guy comes out. Write down what he's going to say a little bit. Structure it a little bit so he comes out and says something. This other guy comes out. This other guy comes out. Have it fit with the narrative. I guess the problem was they couldn't necessarily cuss. There was a guy that asked about the Kal Class ship I was commanding. There was a guy out there. That was one of the helper people. I wasn't staff. I did say I was not staff. I just happened to know they were having problems with their computer as well. I wasn't staff. I'd gone to the bathroom and came back. That's toward the end. And I made sure to drink a lot of fluids and not to walk around so much, so that I would not be sore as much. You can like and subscribe to this and do the night stuff. I'm sure it's getting pretty wild. And I also mentioned, there's the shirt. I was ironically wearing got back home, wearing a Campus Crusades shirt from the 90s, which is funny the whole time. This is the Campus Crusade shirt. Anyway, so that's the end. Pretty much the end. Yep. But yes, the job guy was there. So others that could have been people, but turned out they weren't. So yeah, I don't have any extra. So that's the review for Saturday. FanimeCon 2025. Yeah. This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, because tonight is Sunday night's FanimeCon thing. I'm going to make this part of the commentary very brief because the whole thing is long. This thing is long, so I can just go over things on the slideshow. But the recap itinerary of events, which I wrote down watching it, and what I thought of it would be different from the briefs that are mentioned in the story. So, yesterday, I was wrong as to who was putting on the Cosplay Wrestling Federation. It's a different group than the group that was putting on the Mario and Wario. They were just there, and they were helping out, and they were some of the characters. That isn't what was going on. It is a form parody of the World Wrestling Federation and WWE, basically. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, so thing that I remember having done, something called Info Wario. That's how it's connected to the other thing, in that it was the Wario and Luigi and Mario guys. The other guys, the guys that actually write the scripts and put together a story and have then do their homework so that they can do a funny panel that is just isn't completely audience reaction, but is also participation. If you use a participation, then it's improv, and that's fine, but it has to be carried by the audience. The audience isn't, with it. But a better improv is when you actually, your audience gets what you're doing. Info Wario is a classic example of how to spoof that kind of thing. However, I'm not sure how much the millennials actually got the joke. I mean, they got the joke that, okay, we're making fun of InfoWars, and they got bought over by the Onion. And that's actually kind of brilliant and satirical and funny. They're basically they're acting like the Onion, but a little more over the top. Then you have a bunch of other stuff that happened in here. There was a number of little things in here between this before lunch and after lunch and stuff. Which we can go into in there, but it's briefer in there. So yeah. Let's see, when did I get the... So early on, since I really didn't have a costume, I just had the outfit. I just had the Transformers jacket from day one. I went to the kimono shop, because I saw the kimono shop in there. It was a kimono store. It had furry ears, too. Some new ears. To replace the ones that I lost. And the kimono and the belt. And I got the kind that makes him a formal wear businessman person, a master of business, a senpai, outranking that of Grandmaster Dr. Kim from Jung Swan. But since it's a costume, it doesn't really count, but that is funny. So that's what he is. He's like higher rank than the martial sportiest. He could walk into West Coast Karate and be like, oh, Grandmaster. Oh, that's sure, right. I wouldn't do that, obviously, but that'd be funny. Grandmaster Brown. Oh, that's Grandmaster Kal Kat. Right. Since they don't have a great Grandmaster really in the WC. Yeah, having not overdone it with walking around, I was actually quite frisky with the kimono. I had to figure out where to put it on, and that took a while to figure out where to put it on. But before I did that, before I was going to do that, I went out to, I got the lunch before I got the kimono. Yeah, because I didn't want to have to drag it around and get food on it. So I went out there, and there was the Jesus Freak guy was back, different guy than yesterday, and he was out there. I went to the lunch at that hoagie place. I tried it once before, and it was evil, and tried it again, and it was still kind of evil. Yeah, they didn't agree with me very much. Then the sweet shop was open, that candy store down the road. Go into the candy store, get the candy. I got some mint fudge. Pretended it was weed, but it wasn't. Mint fudge. It was not weed. I was going to try to eat it in front of the candy store, and then a bird immediately took a shit. Boom. Right on my left hand. It was aiming for my left hand, like splat. I was like, oh, it's nasty. So I rushed back in there. I was like, I had something to wipe this off. I got bird shit in my hand. They didn't want to deal with it, but it was their pigeons. But then I went over to the Starbucks and went to the bathroom. They're all like, oh yeah, wash your hand off of the bird poop. Like, yeah, go ahead. But yes, I did go back to the sweet shop afterward and said, well, I don't blame the sweet shop for having birds up in the rafters. You could have warned me. Anyway, so yeah, but yeah, up on the fire escape, the birds are up there like, see if we can hit somebody. Oh, it's nasty. Big city birds. After the bird poop, I go back there. The Jesus Freak guy is being interrupted by a guy with an air horn.
And every time he tries to, he was all whap, whap, whap. And to which the Kal Kat then said, well, it says the horn of Gabriel, the horn of the revelation, and I shall save all of these people. Ha ha! There she says. You guys are, oh shit. That was good. And then we had then I did put on the costume, and then I went to the fall of the house of Miyazaki to find a place to change. It turned out right next to the con panel in the back was the quietest place to change. I did not take the pants off, but I did have to go to, before putting on the kimono, the food didn't agree with me, so they had to deal with that. And I destroyed the lower bathroom. The same actually was the upper art building bathroom, the same one that William Shatner destroyed. Yeah. Well, maybe it was the same building. I don't know which stall he was in, but I know he destroyed the bathroom. And last year at the other convention, I destroyed another one in there. The kimono one, and and went to the Fall of the House of Miyazaki panel by the people that did the Mario Brothers and that kind of thing, the Mario thing. Who were funny because they wrote their stuff. They have script. They follow the script, and they put up fake news panels and stuff, and spoof the games intermixed with the anime, intermixed with the other stuff, to make it actually like a spoof. Otherwise, yeah, because the wrestling one, they try that too. They've got one of the guys from the other panel in there, and he tries to do that too, but it doesn't work as well. That's all audience participation for that one. This one, yes, there's audience participation and laughter, but for the wrestling one, they have to have the audience actually join in. Otherwise, there's the chemistry is completely, it's not there, gone. So I have a mystery bag back here that I haven't opened yet. Shirts, mystery shirts. I have no idea what they are. I got some mystery shirts too. I went back there and I grabbed some mystery shirts, and I'm going to open them. So yes, so I splurged. But yes, but not too badly. I mean, the kimono was 40 something, but the ears were another 25, and the belt was another 25, so it was all 100 altogether. Not right. That's fine. but yeah, why not? And the shirts were more. Not another 40, 45. So here we have beyond voice acting. It was only briefly. Apparently the panelists weren't there, so the moderators were covering for them in a similar way to that one BayCon back in 2011 with the stories. Had to do a panel, and I happened to be on the panel with them. So, that has happened before. It happened once after that when I was up there. Like the no panel. It happened once after that without the stories. And it was 2016. It was the next time that happened. It was the very last BayCon, and nobody showed up for the panel. And I said, "What is the panel about?" They're all like, "Oh, they were just gonna talk about like the animation cartoons and stuff. You want to just sit in here and do it?" There's one guy and 2 guys in here. Okay. So yeah, Transformers. Talk about Transformers. Talk about what you know. But yes, not since. But so here we have. He preferred to talk about Cartoon Network, which was fine. I also watched that at that point. Cartoon Network. I think we delved into other stuff like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and stuff. But yeah, that was also referenced here. But only by me in my blog to Mark's Cards about the wrestling, which was like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Very random. So then there was around 4:15 or so, the dance troupe was back, or there were several different dance troupes and taiko troupes and kind of things doing other things. This is the guys, the Asian guys that are out there, and they were doing a dance thing, and one of their offspring was doing a dance thing. The kid got some moves, and they're all, "Oh, it's that guy, the cat guy, get in here, do something." So I did. So you can watch the if you watch Fanime Con of the Sunday footage of the breakdancing and stuff. There is a Kal Kat butt spin in there. Stay tuned for that. But yes, in a kimono, which is hilarious. I do hope they got that on film. But yes, then there's 4:30 was a Super Mario Brothers spoof thing, spoofing the new movie and the old one and all the other ones. Well done thing. And then you come to the Wrestling Federation Part 2. I get what they're doing because WWE is more disjointed than the other one. I was not offended by Mr. Satan Man coming up there and doing his thing because it was obviously staged and he's trying to be the Undertaker. I thought it was hilarious that one of the contestant persons was a man in drag, a black man in drag, because that's awesome. He walked in, I was like, it would be funny if that guy had a penis, and it was a chick with a penis, and it was all like, and it's black. Turned out it was a dude, just in drag, so that was right. Anyways, yeah, there were other references to other things. There was and there were other characters that came up to be the contestants in this wrestling match. There was no wrestling. What was actually going on is they were like slam dancing each other, insult comic kind of thing deal, similar to that. Similar to Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Similar to a couple of other Tom Goes to the Mayor and that kind of thing. Similar to that. Tom Green Show a little bit. Kind of that humor. And it was audience participation fed the scene. So if they didn't react to the scene, then the comedy wasn't as funny. But they reacted to the scene more in this one, so it had more audience participation. They were more wild. I think it probably helped that some of them were a little drunk. Yeah. Like the karaoke guy earlier, it was karaokeing to songs. So that's my little behind the scenes there. Why don't we see what's in those shirts? I don't have any idea. Yeah. So here we have. Okay. Get off the scene here. This is awesome. I don't know if I'm gonna. I think I'm leaving this home tomorrow. Here is the kimono. Last Kal Kat after going to Fanime for since 2011 has at last received the honorary Fanime style from one of the stores. Come on. It doesn't say Fanime on it. It's not an honorary Fanime kimono. That would be the Fanime swag, but it is a Japanese kimono. Very cool. Yes. And it has a belt. Very cool. Belt. The belt. But I think that it actually looks better if I have the kimono over here. See me in the background. Hold on a minute. I think it will look better to make Kitty Key or Kal Kat the martial sportist. Uh-oh. That's better. Okay, let's see what the other shirts are. Check this out. What's that? Grandmaster Kal Kat. Martial sportist. This is a slightly smaller belt. Let's see what the other shirts are. This is warm. Okay. I have no idea what's in this package. One of these shirts is going to be belong to Mark's Cards. Don't know which one. Let's see. It's time to look at tea turtle. Not turtle tea, but tea turtle. Turtle tea with my question. Okay, I'm gonna keep the kimono on. Drum roll. I'm gonna sleep in my kimono. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, put it on the tack dummy though. Just kidding. Let's see what we got here. Special secret shirts. Oh my god. It's pretty. Oh, look at that. It's pretty. It's a Year of the Dragon. This is like 2 years ago. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. Love it. I like it. That's 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It's the Year of the Snake this year. Oh. This is interesting. Oh god, it's a bad dad pun. Happily ever after. That is some funny shit. Oh my gosh. That's some funny shit. I like that. I like that too. I don't eat the apples, but I like that. Oh, I think we got the Mark's Cards one right here. Oh yes. Yes. Actually, maybe this is a Kal Kat one. I don't know. I'm practicing dark arts and crafts. Nice. I think dark arts and crafts. Okay. I like all three of those, actually. I'll grab another one of those bags tomorrow. I want another one. Yeah, I could use some more shirts. I might grab another one of those. So yeah, yeah. So that's the end of the Sunday thing, and I will put on the slideshow and then go into that because it was a werewolf fuzzy face and Kal Kat, cowboy, all there, and and yeah, it's an hour. Jesus, I didn't think I recorded that much, but yeah, it's an hour. Now tomorrow I'm not going to record that much. That's ridiculous. But yeah. So, cultural appropriation. Dinner, and then come back and do all the review stuff. So it's still early, so that's what I'm gonna do. So this is a brief recap. So we have it's downloading anyway. It's downloading the other files. So kind of in order, there was one panel. There usually aren't too many on a Monday. There was one interesting panel, and it was the Lolita Fashion Show explanation panel. Because I know it's been mentioned numerous times in jest. What is it? Is it actually like that movie with Nero in it? No, it's not. Although Kimchi in the story is saying that fashion shows not scary, to which Kelly Blix would then say, yeah, it is. If the guy's misogynistic and he puts a woman in a really tight corset and tight shoes and all that, then it'd be scary. So basically what it is I'm sure I can go into other stuff. What it is just Elizabethan Victorian steampunk with a little bit of goth. That's all it is. They should probably rename it Victorian. And then just leave it at Victorian. Because the word does not really describe it well. It is very much costumes not revealing anything, so there goes it being in compared to the movie. Not doing anything untoward, there goes another comparison. So upon seeing all that, I didn't need to go ahead and ask anybody what's the funny thing is that I think the panelists should have mentioned that if you type in that word, you will find the other stuff, not the fashion show stuff. You'll find the stuff you don't want to find. So apparently the internet thinks it's hentai. So don't type that in unless you really want to go there for whatever reason. This is Rule 34, shipping and hentai. It is not hentai at all, unless you're into Elizabethan and Victorian wear costumes, which don't show anything. Oh my gosh, an ankle, with a shoe in it. Oh my gosh, the neck. If you can kind of see something, the neck, you can see the Adam's apple, whatever. Yes, hardly risque in any way whatsoever. Even to the point of going in there and saying, "I'm sure it's not a 16 plus panel," and the without missing a beat, the usher said, "Not that Lolita." It's not hentai. Oh, good. I don't want to get in trouble. She knew. Yeah, she knew. Yeah, that is an odd name, but yes, I wasn't a beat. So we had any other colorful characters in the con. I'm gonna make this brief so we can go on to the movie. There are colorful characters in the con, that kind of thing. Well, in the dealer's room, there was a guy probably in character. Let's say he was in character as a nuclear physicist in character, because he clearly wasn't. Because I butted in and mentioned some nuclear things that he didn't know what they were. So he's not. His character, because I'm totally a nuclear physicist. Sure, you're playing one, but you're not actually one. I'm not either, but I watched a lot of the Kyle Hill videos. But yes, later on, the Uber driver on the way back, the one on the way up was fine. The Uber driver on the way back was very excitable because before he picked up me, a very scantily clad cocktail waitress. I thought maybe it was just a Fanime costume, and it was a Fanime person. But they stopped at the titty bar down on King. It was a cocktail waitress. It was even though he was wearing the earring in this ear, so he probably shouldn't have been interested because he's totally, but yeah, oh my, maybe he's bi. A lot of people are bi there. You'll notice that in some of the pictures there are some bosomy fan people, but those are dudes with fakies. Those are falsies. Those are cheaters. Most of the pictures from this are dudes in drag. Just thought for little Mark's cards fun this time around. At the end there was a and very very end. It wasn't even a moment's end. There was an alien. There was a Charlie and the void alien. Kind of funny. Getting into another Uber. I don't know how they got in there in the costume with the costumes on. But yeah. But yes, so yeah. So yeah, the kind of, there was a sort of Victorian / girl in you can find Japanese Lolita, which is not the movie with De Niro. You can find that in stuff like in Macross 7. There's a character called the Fan who keeps coming to Basira's concert dressed in a white Victorian outfit and a hat and the ears and everything. She is a sweet Lolita. So there's a Lolita. That's what that character was. So that's what that means. And if you see in the story where there's one that's all in black, but the black stuff doing the goth thing. It's goth, but if it's Elizabethan and it's steampunk adjacent, it is that version. Goth Lolita. Simple enough. Somewhere in between, there's a bunch of others. There's like a steampunk, regular, new wave, modern. It's kind of generally all over the place. So just so you know. So it's just a dress. It's a costume. Anyway, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that there thing. Do that other stuff. I gave you a little rundown here. I've got 2 Loot Crate bags. Mysterious Loot Crate bags. Don't know what they are. I know one contains plushies. It says so on the outside. And another contains cat-themed toys. I have no idea. After the movie, we'll open that. Check that out. But now, movie and dinner. Dinner and a movie. Maybe in that order. I don't know. Yeah, just close out the thing as we usually do at FanimeCon, and then do a review, because Kal Kat will do a review, and it'll be not part of Fanime, but part of the review channel. Yeah, so so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not worrying about the photo show, slideshow, all that stuff. We'll do that there. And this is Kal Kat, Kalcaster. So I just checked the late convention funds, and we're out of money. So no dinner and a movie. Well, it's a dinner. I have to have some cash, but no dinner and a movie. So I will walk to a place for dinner and walk back. No Uber this time. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll do that. Yeah. Yeah. No. The movie will be around. It's ladies and germs and creatures from the far and wide. Let us find out what our secret thing. I kept saying Loot Crate. It's not Loot Crate. It's just similar to what Loot Crate did. It's not Loot Crate. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's see what he's supposed to eat. What? Hey. So you know what? Oh, tail of fox. Tail of cat. Tail of fox. Yeah. Yeah. Tale of passion. Okay, let's see what's in here first. Yes, this is Unknown Toys from the Toys Logic, which we've been to before in other past itinerary adventures. What have we got here? In Toys Logic, we have a single goes to Tutu Karu. Ah, look at that. Kal Kat. Okay. So Kal Kat. Excellent. That's what was in there. New. It is called a Tank Calico Cat. Oh. And it is NEG style, and it has a website and a QR code. Tank Cali Cat plush. So it's basically Tim as a cat. Excellent. Ooh, some commentaries. Yeah. Oh. That's good. Now this other one. That was just one thing in there. Yeah. Another one. Ooh. So cute. Anime Palace. Cute. The bread cat. Another bread cat. Oh my god. It's another bread cat. Yeah. It's a keychain. I'm comfortable with my sexuality. It's actually babyish more than anything. But look at this. Oh my god. That one's Tim, and who the fuck is this? Oh, look at this little guy. Look, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. Now I actually have some like modern bread cats. Now I can actually I had some earlier bread cats. These are modern ones. So now I get That's what was in here. So cute. So this one sits up like that. Mmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll have to stick them up there. Yeah, bread cats. Yes, the Duick swirl. You have bread cats? Yes, I have bread cats. Now I have more. It's awesome. They were saying that earlier as they had a bread cat shirt. And they had some bread cats. Now I have some more. Now I have some modern official ones. I have this one. This one. Bread loaf cats. Which is kind of weird. You think about like do they you know, like bread loaf cat. He was out here this whole time just to see this guy get grown ass 50-year-old guy getting some cat plushes out of a box. Well, if you can't make fun of something, why not make fun of it? Well, I'm gonna do cat plushes. I don't know. Mute. Anyway, so that was the secret loot crate opening. They were all cat plush. That other one, like, that's kind of funny. That other one from the other store was like, I wasn't expecting that to be in there. I knew it was something soft, but I had no idea that it was another one. Yes. 2 different stores. Yeah. And it's cat related. Ah. Something really, really odd about Kal Kat. Kal Kat. It's in the name.